So today we're going to be discussing our review of the TCL QM8 4 months later. Now, we officially have had this TV for about going on 4 months when it comes to the 11th in just a few days. We will officially have had this TV for a total of 4 months. Now, we have a bad panel, just to give you guys a little bit of heads up. I contacted TCL and I finally got the email yesterday that they are sending us a replacement unit of this particular TV, which is the 65-inch QM8. And honestly, I'm pretty excited to see if this new unit is going to be better. But essentially, with this unit that we currently have at the moment until the new one comes in, is right up here in the corner, there is actually some noticeable dirty screen effect and clouding, especially when you play games like Red Dead Redemption 1 that you're seeing on the PlayStation 4 right there on the side right there, and some other games like Grand Theft Auto 5 that we have been playing on our PlayStation 5 and whatever. And when you look up at the skies and such like that, it doesn't look all that right, and it just gets distracting sometimes because you just know that that's there and you're trying to avoid it, but then you just still see it at the corner of your eye is what I'm trying to say when you are especially playing those games. But luckily enough, like I mentioned, TCL is actually finally going to send us a replacement unit. But without further ado, this is definitely a TV that I would definitely highly recommend for those of you. Now, this is with all of the above. Like, this is for basically anyone, like people that watch TV, people that love sports, or like us that are into gaming. This TV has basically got you covered. And when it comes to the best overall value of the quality of the picture that you do get, the TCL QM8 is definitely our best overall value TV for 2023. Now, we are essentially getting ready to head into 2024. We only have I'm going to guess around 23 days left of the year at this point, or 24 or whatever. I honestly forgot December actually has 31 days. But yeah, we essentially only got like a little over 20 plus days left of the year. So even if 2024 comes around, this is still a TV that I would definitely recommend for you to get. And even better yet, it might actually be even lower price around the springtime, even though it's already at a good low price as it's ever been. So the TCL QM8, it is a pack-full mini LED TV, and if you don't want to pay OLED prices, this TV, however, is going to get you very, very close to OLED levels of picture quality and contrast. Now, you will still see some teeny bit of blooming, especially if you turn on a PlayStation 4, for an example, and when the PlayStation 4 is booting up, you see the PlayStation logo in the very center of the screen on a background. Black background's what I mean to say. I kind of mumbled there for a second. But you'll see the PlayStation logo on a black background, and you will see just a teeny bit of blooming. But you barely even notice the blooming is even there. So when you really think about it, this TV is pretty much almost an OLED-like TV for being a mini LED. And what makes this TV even a better option is the fact that it is cheaper, and it also gets brighter than most OLED TVs. Like, this TV is very, very capable of going up to 2000, and I think from Digital Trends or a couple reviewers that I watched, I'm thinking that this TV can go all the way up to almost 2,500 nits full screen. And if you really think about that, that's actually insane. Like, that's incredibly insane. But also with 10%, 25% windows, it is going to get brighter than 2,500 nits. As I think I remember Digital Trends said, the TV can actually go all the way up to 3,500 nits at a 10% window, which is just insane to think about right there. That's just like insane, and it just shows that there is a lot of potential for this TV. Now, also, I'm going to get into the gaming aspect with it. As you're seeing, we have a PlayStation 4 Pro that we're actually got turned on our screen at the moment. Then we have an Xbox One X, and then right down there, you're seeing our PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X consoles. But when it comes to gaming, this is the first ever TCL lineup of TVs that now has an actual Game Master bar or whatever it's called in there. Essentially, it's basically like its own gaming menu, like the LG OLEDs have had, and now the Samsung TVs that now are been having for the last year or so. That's essentially what this TCL one has, to where it'll let you pick a few different picture presets of the type of game you're playing. There's actually only original, RPG, and then I think FPS. Those are the only three graphical modes that the QM8 actually has at the moment. But TCL could actually add more in the future with some firmware updates and whatever. But with this one, you only get 3 options, whereas on the LG and Samsung TVs, you actually had a variety of like around 5 to 6 more extra picture preset options and such. But this is still insanely good. Not only that, but you'll also get a top bar that will let you know if your game supports HDR10 or if it's running in HDR, and if variable refresh rate is turned on, and your frame rate of the game that you're playing, and just overall, like, it just gives you overall the details of whatever game that you're playing and what the picture is basically running on. So gaming on this TV is definitely an easy win to sell this TV, especially for if you are a hardcore gamer or even to an extent casual gamer. But another advantage when it comes to gaming is that the TV actually can go up to 144 Hz at 4K resolution, but the downside with this is that it is only on one HDMI port, and that is HDMI port 1. Now, HDMI 2, however, can do 4K, but only at 120 Hz. But there is another advantage that the HDMI 1 actually does have, and that is being able to play at 240 Hz at 1080p, which, if you are a hardcore PC-like gamer, you will definitely be satisfied when it comes to, basically wanting to get higher refresh rates, and you are basically somebody that does not care about resolution or graphics in general. You just want the game to look decent and have the smoothest gameplay experience as possible. So if you are a PC gamer, this TV has got your back when it comes to having a higher refresh rate and also still overall great picture in general. Now, even out of all other TVs I have ever seen, another thing I'm going to praise TCL for the QM8 is that the HDR highlights have never been better on any other TV except this. And I've seen some pretty good TVs that had HDR. The Samsung QM90B does, also the S95B, and even the LG C1 has some pretty decent HDR. The Hisense U8H, which is our other TV right now that we have in our living room, it has decent HDR, but still not quite as good as the TCL QM8. And the Sony X90K has some pretty decent HDR just as well. So most TVs that we've had have had really good HDR, but when it comes to the best HDR, the TCL QM8 is definitely got the best HDR with the best contrast and best, overall brightness, and it just pops with the colors. Like the TCL QM8 is literally just, like, I'm telling you, this is one of the reasons as to why I recommend the TCL QM8 in 2023 and even early 2024. the best TV for the value, because the picture quality is going to be great. The gaming performance of this TV is just a dunk when you compare it to other TVs in its price class. And yeah, it's just an overall great TV. But this is a messed up panel that, like I mentioned, I think we got. But luckily enough, we contacted TCL, and they are finally replacing us a new unit of the 65-inch QM8. And then once we get that, we're going to have to basically recycle this TV once our new one comes in. But like I mentioned, on the top corner, as you're seeing above the Red Dead Redemption 1 logo of the game, is where there is some noticeable clouding with lighter colors, especially when you play games and looking up at a sky, for an example, in the daytime, and it's just really distracting here and there. But this is the TCL QM8 review 4 months later. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you guys could hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and be sure to leave us a comment down below if this helped you out decided on getting this TV, or if you already have it and are very, very excited and are very, very pleased with it. But without any further ado, this is Tech and Gaming Reviews. Hope you all enjoyed this video, so rate, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.